Hi, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. And today, guys, we are taking a cheeky look at VeChain, and specifically, is March a good month to buy VET? So, Chris, this seems to be quite a common question that we get asked a fair amount, right? It's all about, is now a good time to buy X? And we're going to be looking at VeChain with this specific question as to whether or not March is a good time to potentially be purchasing the VET token. So as we get into this, if you find it useful, informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said and done, Chris, anything you would like to add before we jump over to the desktop and take a look at what's going on here?
Yeah, just one thing. Let us know what you think the price is going to be in the comments below come the end of March. Really interested to see what your thoughts and opinions are.
Fantastic. Right, let's jump on over. So yeah, is March a good month for buying VeChain? And specifically, we're talking about the VET token and not V4, although V4 is a fantastic coin in itself. We are specifically looking at the cryptocurrency or the currency token, which is the VET, rather than the gas token, which is V4. So in this particular chart in the background here, we have several things going on, and we'll get into that in a moment. But ultimately, VeChain, Chris, and the VET token has tripled in price in 2021 as it inches closer and closer to that 10-cent milestone. And a lot of people are thinking, well, what is next in March, or for VeChain in March? And, should we actually consider buying some now, or is, potentially a better time to be buying and all of that kind of good stuff? So we're going to get into a little bit of the fundamental analysis and, the strong use cases push the VET price up further and all of that kind of good stuff. And ultimately, VET and VeChain, it is a blockchain-based platform that uses IoT and distributed governance to solve problems in the supply chain management ecosystem. The platform uses two tokens, as I mentioned earlier, the VET token and V4, to manage the VeChain 4 blockchain in itself. Now, to name just a few of the use cases that it has, obviously we're talking about supply chain management, but also above and beyond that, it does lots of things around counterfeiting. It does lots of traceability in terms of hospitality sector as well, and really good things in the healthcare area as well. So, just to name a few things that they do very, very well, and it's well worth doing some more research. We cover VeChain quite a bit on this channel, Chris, so there's probably quite a bit that people can look into and discover. But ultimately, it's well worth taking a look. So, the project has many partnerships, hasn't it, Chris? All across the globe, despite some of the FUD out there. And this includes, car manufacturers in the automotive industry, such as BMW, Renault. And it also has people like DNV, PwC, and a whole host of others, such as Walmart China, H&M, even no seafood over in the US as well. That is truly global, which is fantastic. And VeChain is just one of those rare blockchains that has seen a fair amount of use. And it genuinely is that rare. You do not see that many projects or blockchain technologies actually, being used as much as you do with VeChain. So it's a no-brainer of a potential project that you think is going to be around for a while and a long-term investment.
And I was going to say, Nick, whilst we're on that, some of the other things that we don't tend to really sort of cover that much on the channel is around sustainability as well. VeChain are working with like ocean cleanup, for example, with the blockchain technology, sort of helping certify and I guess demonstrate the origin and authenticity of reclaimed ocean and river plastics as well, which is transforming harmful waste into products for consumers. So there's lots of things around sort of keeping the world sort of clean, and also NFT collectibles and gaming as well, Nick. We don't really tend to sort of touch on these too much on the channel, and I don't know, today I just feel like mixing it up with a few additional things that we're aware of that probably many people aren't aware of.
Yeah, that's actually definitely worth taking a look at that stuff. So do your own research, of course. Never pay attention just to us, but it is a fantastic blockchain with lots of integration. So definitely worth checking out. But let's talk a little bit about the technical analysis, Chris, because VET bears hiding, and ultimately the bulls have got control. So the VET token has been trending up ever since the 1st of March. The cryptocurrency currently shows no signs of stopping its upward swing, and the fact that VeChain and the VET token managed to stay above the 223.6 Fibonacci retracement zone after pulling back from its recent highs is an incredibly bullish signal in itself. So really good stuff going on there. And we can see that within this charts just here. We came up quite nicely from that recent high. Now, the cryptocurrency looks like it's almost certainly pushing higher and ultimately attempt to break that 10-cent area. Now, granted, the cryptocurrency and the crypto sector, has, or should remain bullish for this to happen. And the VET, is almost always following the market direction, both up and down. So we do have to consider that with, fantastic moves that are happening with Bitcoin. We are going to start seeing this thing potentially go in a positive direction. But of course, if Bitcoin has a correction, we'll also see the VET token take that correction too. So there are currently no signs of a fading volume, which is a good sign, and we're going to get into the volumes in a moment as well. And even descending price action on the daily chart doesn't seem to be there either. There is a bit of resistance that we've spoken about a few times, and we're going to have a look at that as well in a moment. So taking a look at the hourly time frame, which we'll do, we can see that VET has remained strong above 6.5 and is currently trading or trending up and following the 21 hour moving average. So really interesting stuff going on there. So what is next really for VeChain, Chris? And investing in VeChain should be an investment based on fundamentals rather than technicals. And we look at the technical stuff here just to kind of see what's going on in the space. And it's good to know what is actually going on and when you can just kind of understand when a pullback is going to happen, because technically that is what's going to be shown here. And you kind of get comfortable with that. So when you can see a pullback is going to happen, you can understand it and you can come to terms with it. But it doesn't change our long-term position on VET. So we always base a lot of our investments actually around the fundamentals of a project rather than just trading. We do not look at technicals and just invest on the technicals. We have to look at the fundamental stuff. So VeChain is one of those. You definitely want to be looking at the fundamentals, and you need to understand exactly what is going on there with VeChain to truly see the potential in it. With all that being said, VeChain supporters claim that it is, still early in the investment period, and I totally agree with that. We are very, very early, even though there is huge adoption with VeChain. In fact, it is the only 5-star blockchain in the world. Is fantastic, but we are still incredibly early. In order for the VET token to truly mature and gain substantial amount of value, we need VeChain and the team over there to basically onboard a lot more businesses, because they're ultimately incentivized to hold and hodl the VET token. So the more businesses that VeChain onboard, the better it will be for all the VET holders. So let's take a look, Chris, at what is actually going on inside the charts here. Okay, so as we pointed out yesterday, we are inside this parallel channel and we still have that resistance up at 6.7 cent. Now, I think we need to break through here. We obviously have had a recent close candle just above that midway point, and we are still above the midway point of this channel. That's a really positive sign, but we need to get that close above 6.79 in order to really concrete ourselves moving further forward. And like we spoke about yesterday, we are still targeting that 8.3 cent. Nothing has changed in that scenario. We are still back testing on the former high level, and that is still working well for us, but with resistance is a bit of a problem. And we can also see, Chris, that the volumes are holding up nicely. They're not anything impressive, so the volumes will support what goes forward. And on this daily chart, we are not overbought at the moment, so that's okay as well. And as we pull this chart into that 4-hourly view, Chris, we can see exactly what's going on here and how we are fighting to get control over that resistance area. And hopefully we'll get that by the close of today. And then that will really give us a good swing tomorrow. Now, with that being said, the volumes are still decreasing, and that's actually kind of what you want to see in order to maintain price without doing too much damage there whilst correcting this RSI. So the RSI on this 4-hourly chart, Chris, is actually below 60, which is a pretty good spot. Could be lower, but there's still a decent amount of space to the upside here that could see us up towards that 8.3 cent without any issue. Now, if we pull this into that 1-hourly view, this is where we'll see the most amount of detail. And here we can see that we're actually above that midway point, but really fighting against 6.79 cent area here. So that is a bit of a problem. The volumes, again, are not supporting us, and we do need to correct this RSI a little bit lower on this hourly chart. If we can get this thing towards that 37 area, we'll be incredibly confident on bouncing us to that new high that we need. So for now, it looks like we might have a little bit more sideways trading, maybe for another few hours, 12 hours or so. Even maybe by the time you actually are watching this video, we've reached that 37.4 on this RSI. And actually, we've now started to make some solid ground towards 8.3 cent. That would be my vision here, because ultimately this hourly chart, we do need to drop this thing a little bit lower so that we can take advantage of all of that space to the upside there. The volumes are not impressive, so we can definitely correct this thing without doing too much damage to the price. And I imagine that the 6.9 cent is still going to be a bit of a problem area for us for a little bit longer now. But once that is done and once that is taken care of, we're going to be going up towards that price target of 8.3 cent. And we'll be up here. Now, it's at this point, Chris, things start to get interesting, because when we get to the top of this particular channel, that is where we'll start to expect a bit of a correction. So in terms of potentially purchasing a VET token, and is it too late, or is it even worth getting into VeChain at this particular point during March? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some pullbacks worth sort of dipping into. I think we're seeing Bitcoin reaching all new highs, and I think that's going to potentially have the odd pullback here and there as it continues its path upwards. So I think there's going to be some decent opportunities. I think there will be a BTC retracement of sorts, a healthy one, a correction, whatever you want to label it. And I think when that happens, there are going to be some alts pullback also, and I think it's capitalizing on those opportunities. So for me, I wouldn't be buying on days where it's pumping and sort of FOMOing in. I still think there's going to be opportunities, but it's a glide path upwards. We've been talking about VET for a long time. I'm starting to hear similar conversations and see threads around Chainlink as well, that remind me back to when people were questioning VeChain and the fact that it wasn't moving. And we always say on this channel, don't go chasing the price pumps, because that's a sure way just to end up being on the losing side, right? If you invest in a project, not financial advice obviously, but just my opinion, if you invested in it and you believed the fundamentals and you believed in the project, the team, and all that sort of jazz, then I think you have to stick with it. That each project will get its time. Many boats will rise. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. And Chris, I still am a firm believer that we are going to see somewhere in that dollar range value for VET token during 2021. So even at these prices, it is still an absolute steal. So it's definitely not as cheap as when we were buying it, Chris, but still find it quite an attractive proposition nonetheless. So guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. By subscribing, you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.